I want you to listen to what I'm about to say in the context of Call of Duty being on thin ice. Every shooter franchise has its problems, has its flaws, its errors, its bad launches, but the thing is that Call of Duty is an annual series. So those issues and those bad launches, they start to stack up. As a fan of the series, and just being a YouTuber that covers the series, I personally kind of like that period when we don't know how things are, we don't know what guns are overpowered, or we don't know what perks are broken, and, waiting for patches. There's something weirdly exciting about that. But Call of Duty doesn't need another 20Hz server launch, or a launch where they have to shut off the dedicated servers, or where one platform is getting massive performance issues. And that's what happened with Infinite Warfare, COD World War II, and Black Ops 4. Infinite Warfare had massive performance problems when it first came out, especially on Xbox. And then COD World War II had an awful launch where they needed to turn off the servers, and there was tons of bugs, and signing in was a problem, and the social hub area was always hit or miss. There was even a point where they just emptied out the hub world area so you could only play around in it solo. It was very strange. And then Black Ops 4 launched with some performance problems, and also the servers were running at like 20Hz instead of the 60Hz they should have been. Issues like this are kind of inevitable, and honestly, they don't ruin a game. But Modern Warfare doesn't need these issues. Honestly, in my opinion, the Call of Duty franchise can't afford to do the whole release a game in October and then it's actually worth playing by February type of routine we're seeing with lots of games. Call of Duty Modern Warfare is only around for a year. I have a whole video about that I'm going to do as well. Obviously, COD games can be played outside of their life cycle, but they're only in the life cycle for 1 year where they're being supported and DLCs coming out for them. So I think the developers want to take up as few months as possible when it comes to optimizing and making sure the game works. Because after the game comes out and millions of people have it, that is when all the issues start to rise to the surface that they couldn't have really tested internally. So what am I proposing in this video? I want a week-long open beta that's cross-platform with no exclusivity. I think it should happen in August or July. And for all the people that are saying, and I've seen this actually from a lot of pro players, and it makes me wonder why they have Twitter accounts, they don't want the next Call of Duty to have a beta, which would be this Call of Duty, which would be Modern Warfare. Why? Well, their reasoning from what I've seen is that Call of Duty went downhill after it started doing betas. Correlation and causation are two different things. Black Ops 3 wasn't bad because it had a beta. That's idiotic, that's insane. Battlefield games aren't bad because they have betas. Titanfall 2 wasn't bad because it had a beta. Infinite Warfare wasn't bad because it had a beta. No. First, why don't we look at the quality of betas Call of Duty has? They're short, they're exclusive to PlayStation first, and those two factors alone have to limit the usefulness of the beta, because they're short and they're exclusive to one console first. If you had a nice long, at least business week, 5-day period, where Xbox, PlayStation, and PC players could all play together without having to pre-order, without having to spend a dime, you would get a massive influx of players, because that's a big deal. Call of Duty has a new variable, and that is crossplay, and we want crossplay to work at launch, not for the game to come out and crossplay is buggy for the first 3 or 4 months. No, stress test the hell out of it, and the way you get the most players, the way you test out your servers, the way you test out crossplay, the way you test out balance and exploits, the way you test performance is give as many people access to the game as possible for a decent chunk of time so that performance issues, imbalances, crossplay problems can all get solved before the launch. Now they'll probably have to limit content because you can't have every map and every weapon, so sure, there might be a map that they don't let us see that when it finally comes out it has performance issues or it has some exploits or something or it's just imbalanced. That's inevitable. We don't have to split hairs and get into all of that. Even just giving us 2 maps, one large one and one smaller one, and at least 2 or 3 weapons out of each category for 5 business days, or just 5 days, where we can all play together and just see how it works and see how it runs. Again, you're getting those first 5 days of stress testing done before the launch of the game because nobody has to pre-order, nobody has to buy into it, meaning even little kids will just go to the Xbox store or the PlayStation store and download the beta and just play it. So you're getting as many people on there as possible. Now technology is complex. They could do this and it could go really well, they could fix a lot of things. It would just be a period of hey guys, enjoy playing, but we're shutting down the servers tonight to do some more maintenance, we're fixing it, okay, now the beta's back up and we're fixing it. It could be a great productive week and the game could come out and still have problems at launch. But I still think it's worth a go instead of doing this like, oh, PlayStation gets 3 days and then Xbox gets 3 days and then PlayStation actually gets 6 days. Like, why? Like, why are you not letting PC and Xbox players test their game as much as the PlayStation players? I know there's exclusivity, but this is a beta test, okay? My game costs as much as their game, so I should be able to test it the same amount. You should be able to test each platform for the same amount of time, and then see how they all cooperate with each other. If they do some shit where PlayStation has access to the beta for 6 days, and the last 3 days of it, Xbox and PC get access, that's trash. It should be 6 days, 5 days, 7 days of us getting to do everything we can to make sure that all the systems that are supposed to be there at launch are working at launch. I'm okay with PlayStation wanting their console to be the best place to play, if that's what they're going for, but you don't have to actually hurt other games so that they don't get as much beta testing, therefore have more openings and more possibilities for more issues. Now, part of me doesn't want a beta, and that is just because when it comes down to it, playing the game for the first time on launch day and not before is kind of a special experience. But factually and technically, testing the game out and stress testing it and seeing where its weak points are allows the developer to make changes and fixes, and will allow the community to make more educated purchases as to whether or not the game will be for them. We have to remember there are lots of kids that started playing Call of Duty around Advanced Warfare about 5 years ago. So think about that. If they were 13 when Advanced Warfare came out, they're about 18 now. And they would also probably like to be able to make a more informed purchase. But it probably won't happen, what I'm suggesting here, because, well, some people have already decided that betas make the Call of Duty games worse somehow. Just blanket correlation that doesn't mean anything. PlayStation wants to give their users the best experience and the longest experience and the most exclusive experience, so other platforms that pay the same amount for the same game can fuck right off. And overall, it's just pro-consumer, so why would I expect it at this point? But that's how I think the Modern Warfare beta should be handled. No more of this pre-order to get beta access shit. That's not a beta. It's a marketing gimmick. It's a demo. Give us a real open beta tech test. Let us strain the servers and poke holes in it and really let the game live up to some real scrutiny, or fight against some real scrutiny. Either way, I'll see you when I see you guys. Goodbye.
Oh, I can't.
Can you not shoot me in the back, please? I'm busy fighting Dylan. See? I'm fighting Dylan.
I hit you twice. How?
I'm alive.
When you were in already red. Somehow.
Well, I probably needed one more, because my first red was just from, like, some explosion damage. I already healed from Dylan, and then I accidentally hurt myself with the C4. Can I get it up there? Ugh. Yes, I got it up there! Now, nobody panic. It's organic. Whoa. All game, no gimmicks. All game, no gimmicks. All game, no gimmicks. I'm not in there anymore. I'm not in there anymore.
I just wanted to play this button.
There's a cool
I just wanted to
fucking,
sit in Chad's chair.